So this one is a bit of a reality check. Um, in my experience, I found that whenever I played with fire, I got burnt. And the intent of this video would be to help you learn from my mistakes and maybe not get to that point in your life. Hopefully you haven't. And if you have, hopefully we'll minimize the impact with a bit of awareness. So in my experience, I've noticed that us humans, we tend to say things to ourselves like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. Or things like that don't happen to me, until they do. Back when I was using drugs and alcohol heavily, I remember always going a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. I thought to myself, if I get to that point, I'm sure I'm going to quit. But then I surpassed it. And then, well, if I do that kind of stuff or something happens to me that way, I'm going to surpass it. And I'm going to quit. I wouldn't let myself go down that far or go down that hole. But the drugs and the alcohol, they weaken our values and our moral compass and the good in us. And we become corrupt with the consumption being number one, the drugs and alcohol taking over, first place on the podium, if you will. So I remember at some point when my mouth was so irritated and so bloody from doing so much coke that I couldn't eat foods that had any kind of taste to it because my mouth would just burn. Toothpaste would just burn. I never thought I would have to check myself into a rehab for 4 months until it happened. I never thought I'd end up calling the hospital, the ambulance on myself twice because I was sure I was dying. I sat there and thought, how much drugs did I do today? Or what's my day or my week been like? And I started to analyze and I thought, I'm done. There's no way I'm surviving this. And then ended up in the hospital. It's denial and it's a procrastination. The addiction is really cunning and it wants to keep itself alive. And it will say things like, no, keep doing it. That won't happen to you. Things like that don't happen to us. We only read about that in the news or in movies. It's very powerful and cunning, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I want you to know what you're up against. It's ultimately our own mind, and it's our own lies and our own deception and our own denial. So we do have control over it to weaken it, to starve it, and to focus on something new. I've known people in rehab when I went there the first time that they were not in a good place. The drugs and alcohol had taken them somewhere dark. And they were scared and there would be consequences. Some of them got lucky, some of them got a slap on the wrist, some of them escaped by the skin of their teeth. And then we all kind of parted and did our own thing when we all went out. And then I went back to become a facilitator for smart recovery meetings, and I heard or met some of these guys. And unfortunately, they had relapsed and they had gone farther down the barrel than they ever were. The worries and the concerns that they had when I was in rehab with them were nothing compared to this new level of suffering that they had created for themselves. And I don't want to get into too much details, but I'm talking very dramatic, sad kind of stuff. So I found in my experience that I got burned when I played with fire. So I hope that I can paint a picture here that is not always about the high or the anticipation or the fun, that there is a whole other world of things happening to our spirit, our mind, our body, our relationships, our finances, our work, our sanity. A lot of things are at stake when we abuse drugs and alcohol.